The international break ends just as things start getting interesting, but back to club football we go with positive tests and more injury concerns. Plus, how many more weird stories can we go over on this week's preview show? All that and more to come on the OTC podcast. Hello and welcome to OTC podcast with me, Regan, Walsh, and my co-presenter, Bradley Morris. How are you this week, Brad?
I think this week's actually started getting interesting.
Yes, international break's finally over, and the day after it finishes, there's news stories left, right, and centre, and even during the start of this week, we've had a lot of news. It's definitely going to be one that is a jam-packed show. Starting off with the internationals, we will have a look back at this week's games. I mean, yesterday England won 4-0. What are your takes on the England win?
Admittedly, I can't say I watched it. Because what was there to play for?
I mean, their position in the Nations League was already sorted that they wouldn't be qualifying, finishing third in the group behind Denmark and Belgium, so they wouldn't advance through to the semi-finals. But from what I saw, it seemed to be a good game again for Phil Foden and Jack Grealish, because Foden scored a brace and Foden also set up Declan Rice's first goal. Mason Mount scored the other goal. I think it was a very easy win for Gareth Southgate's side.
You could almost hear the scream from Southgate on the bench.
Though I was expecting an easy England win. I mean, Iceland aren't really. Yes, we all remember that what happened in 2016, but it was a long time ago now.
That's because if there was ever a moment for Gareth Southgate to turn to Nigel Farage, it was that very moment. See? We told you so.
Yeah, it's a good result for the Three Lions, who obviously will be hoping that this can help them go forward and look good for the Euros next year. Elsewhere on the home soil, Scotland played Israel, was it? And they won 1-0, if I remember. No, they lost 1-0.
And they were losers.
Again, I think it doesn't really matter because they had nothing really to play for.
I actually believe they could have finished top. I might be wrong, but they could have still got promoted from
it. Yes, actually, they could have got promoted to Group A. But I don't know which one, but they would have well. However,
they didn't, so the bogey's over.
Yes, it only lasted for a few days. Elsewhere in the home nations front, Northern Ireland drew 1-1 with Romania. Northern Ireland's goal scorer was Liam Boyce shortly before the hour mark, and then Eric Bickfarley scored for Romania. Ireland could only draw 0-0 with Bulgaria in their final match, and Wales beat Finland 3-1 with Kiefer Moore, Daniel James and Harry Wilson getting their goals for the side. However, Finland did play the majority of the game with 10 men after Jere Uron was sent off after 12 minutes.
There was a lot of hype.
The Finnish side.
There was a lot of hype around Daniel James's goal. Care to comment on that one?
Yet to see it. I haven't actually seen Dan James's
slightly
goal.
It was fine, but it's not worldy. So the worldies that we've seen already this year.
It's just what you'd expect from someone like a professional footballer. Nothing to write home about or potentially win the Puskás award.
Okay, it's not winning any Puskás awards anytime soon, but it was all right. It's just not
not really the best of goals. Elsewhere in the Nations League, so the 4 teams going through to next year's semi-finals will be Italy, Belgium, France, and Spain after they all finish top of their groups in Group A. Spain, obviously, were the big winners this week after they beat Germany 6-0. Ferran Torres scored a hat-trick. Alvaro Morata, Rodri, and Mikel Oyarzabal also got on the score sheet.
Just like you forgot to intro this in the way you said you would.
Yes, I should have done it, but
Well,
I
let's
was
talk
going to
about
go
sex,
with
baby.
let's talk about sex, as in the German way to say six. I think that's Germany's worst defeat in a competitive game since 1931.
The Spanish one says that.
You've got to say, Joachim Löw's section is bad when it comes to choosing the defenders. He seemed to get rid of the experience of Mats Hummels and Jerome Boateng far too quickly. Yes, they were old and slightly on the decline, but they were still top world-class central defenders to have, and he should have maybe got rid of one of them, but definitely not both of them.
Hummels could still do a job, couldn't he?
Oh yeah, Hummels can easily still do it. I mean, both still play on a regular basis at club level, so why did they just get dropped? I always found that strange, and it's good to see. Yes, Robin Koch of Leeds United didn't have the best of games after picking up a booking as well quite early on in the game. But it's good to see youngster Ferran Torres score a hat-trick. Hopefully, City fans now will be expecting him to do that week in, week out at the team if he gets picked. A very good player to look forward to. Portugal beat Croatia 3-2. So Ruben Dias, João Felix, and Dias again with the goals, though Mateo Kovacic did open in the scoring in that game. And again, Croatia played the majority of the second half with 10 men. And the other big game saw France beat Sweden 4-2. Kingsley Coman, Olivier Giroud getting a brace, and Benjamin Pavard getting on the score sheet. So that, as we said, it leaves the international break now finished until March. Sorry, not October.
That's 128
it would
days.
be great if we didn't have international. It'd be great if we didn't have international football for a year.
I don't want the two words international break mentioned for 128 days. Can we agree on
That's
this?
fine. Yep, that's fine by me. After that was the last mention of it. This week in the Premier League, we have a full fixture list. We've got a lot of fixtures to look forward to, starting on Saturday lunchtime at St James's Park as Newcastle welcome Chelsea, who are more than likely will be welcoming back Kai Havertz after he's cleared his COVID test. However, they will be without Thiago Silva, who has just came back today from international break with Brazil. I don't think there's been any team news yet for Newcastle, but just looking into the game, Newcastle have lost just one of their last 7 Premier League games against Chelsea, winning 5, drawing 1, winning this exact fixture last season courtesy of Isaac Hayden's 90th minute strike. Chelsea have won 5 of their last 7 meetings with Newcastle, though the Blues have only managed to keep 1 clean sheet in this run, a 1-0 win at Stamford Bridge last season. I think looking at the game, you've got to say Chelsea are strong favourites going into this.
You can say that, but then when you go and look at that record they have at St James's, that suggests they have the possibility to be a bit of a bogey team.
Yeah, definitely at St James's Park, you'd say Newcastle are somewhat of the favourites going into it, but I'd say if you look at form and how Chelsea and Newcastle are both playing this season, I think it would give Chelsea the slight edge. We'll get on to predictions from both of us a little later after we've previewed all the games. Next up on Saturday at 3 o'clock sees Aston Villa take on Brighton and Hove Albion on BT Sport. Some facts about the game: Aston Villa are unbeaten in their last 8 league meetings with Brighton, winning 4, drawing 4, and their last defeat was 1-0 in December of 1980. Brighton have never won away against Aston Villa in all competitions, drawing 3 and losing 9 of their 12 games. Indeed, the Seagulls have lost all 5 of their visits to Villa Park in the top flight. Just reading that on loan, you've got to be quite confident going into this weekend.
No. Well, do you say that? No, I'm positive. They'll be positive, but confidence is a strong word for Villa fans. No, I'm positive ahead of this game. We've come out of the international break with no major injury worries. And as far as I'm aware, no positive tests.
Yeah. A victory and Chelsea lose, you would actually go above Chelsea and into the top 4 for the time being, until other games later on in the weekend. Where Brighton would be hoping to get a victory, which could see them close the gap to Leeds. So they'll stay in 16th place with a victory. However, a loss and results go against them, e.g. Fulham and West Brom win, they could slip into the relegation zone. Next up is the big game on Saturday at 5:30 on Sky Sports, which sees Tottenham welcome Manchester City to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A bit of break news in the last few hours. Man City have confirmed manager Pep Guardiola has signed a new 2-year deal with the Citizens to remain in charge until 2023. The Spaniard's contract had initially run out next summer, but he has decided to stay in Manchester. What are your thoughts on Guardiola deciding to stay?
I guess it's not the most surprising news. I mean, then again, it kind of is. It's very. You can look at it from both angles, but this will be the first time he actually signs a new contract with the club.
And it will be the longest tenure he's done at a club, because he usually does 3-4 years and then he leaves.
I don't know what they've done to tempt him.
I think he's just been realised Barcelona's not available. PSG don't want to get rid of Thomas Tuchel. All of the top jobs in the world are taken now, so his only option is to stay with Manchester City, and I think that's the only reason. If PSG or Barcelona came available at the end of the season, and they still might do, I think he could be tempted then. But at this moment in time, with both of them unavailable, I think that's why he's decided to stay. And I've seen he has apparently been given 100 million to spend in the transfer window.
I think they probably told him he could sign Nathan Redmond.
And another 400 million on centre backs, as he has done all the time since being in there. Looking into this fixture a bit more, Tottenham won this exact fixture 2-0 last season, ending a run of 6 Premier League games without a win against Man City.
This game only needs one selling point, and that's Pep versus Jose.
It should be a cracker. Let's hope Jose Mourinho is as good on the touchline as he has been on Instagram over this international break. Speaking a bit more, only against Chelsea have Man City lost more Premier League games than they have versus Tottenham. Tottenham have won both of their meetings with Man City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in all competition last, winning 3 home games in a row against the Citizens between 2005 and 2009. Should be a definite cracker of the game. And the final game on Saturday sees Manchester United welcome Slaven Bilic's West Bromwich Albion to Old Trafford at 8 o'clock on BT Sport. A bit into this game, Man United haven't lost consecutive league matches against West Brom since December 1980, with the Baggies winning their last Premier League encounter with Man United 1-0 in 2018 of April. West Brom have won 3 of their last 5 away games against Man United, including the last such visit, which we just mentioned. The Baggies have won just one of the last 31 league visits to face Man United prior to this run. Looking at this game, you've got to say Man United have got to be favourites, even despite their poor start to the season, considering West Brom have been one of the worst sides, if not the worst side in the league this season. As far as I'm aware, United don't have any new injury concerns. I don't think Ollie's had his press conference yet. That'll be scheduled tomorrow. There is a bit of positive news. As we mentioned in the review show, that there was
he's
Alex
commented
Tellers,
on. Well, yeah, I was saying, Bilic has spoken and he's commented on many positive COVID tests within his squad.
really.
And that's what he said. I'm just merely quote what I say.
Yes, they have had a few. I can't think of. I'll get into that in a second. So yeah, we had mentioned in our preview show, the review show on Monday, that Alex Telles of Man United in Brazil had been in close contact with their player, but fortunately he has returned negative tests since for Brazil, and I believe he'll be fine to return to the Man United starting lineup this weekend. Whether he will play the game is another thing. As far as I'm aware, every other player, including Donny van de Beek and Paul Pogba, who have been the subject of a lot of talking point in the last week or so over the international break, are all returning back with a full bill of health, apart from those that have been injured. West Brom.
I'm sure that bench will brace them nicely.
Yeah. So news about West Brom. Howard and Kanu is coming back, and Sam Field are both coming back from their injuries, and they should be available in the coming weeks. The positive tests, I'm sure one of them was Callum Robinson and Chimmy Ajayi, Conor Gallagher, and Dara O'Shea. So they're the few that. Yes, so they're the ones that are positive. However, Robertson has had had one. He did a test yesterday and came back and it was negative, so he should be okay to play for them. Then on Sunday, the early kickoff is at Craven Cottage as Fulham welcome Everton. Again, it's going to be shown on BBC One. Fulham won their last Premier League meeting with Everton 2-0 in April 2019, ending a run of 10 league games without a win against the Toffees. It was Scott Parker's first victory as manager in the competition. Everton have only failed to score in one of their last 9 Premier League meetings with Fulham, though it was their last such in April 2019 when they lost 2-0. I gotta say, this is got to be an easy Everton win.
Everton
just
need the bounce back, and Fulham just need the points.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Fulham don't win this weekend or even get a point and results go against them, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Scott Parker. I don't think he would get sacked, but yeah, the pressure is definitely going to be there. A bit of transfer news that was surrounding Everton was that Isco Alcaron of Real Madrid had been linked, but to quote Carlo Ancelotti, he called the rumours bullshit. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he does end up at Everton, considering the links they managed to get with him, managing him during his time. And obviously signing Hammers this past summer.
Is Ancelotti trying to reunite the 2015 Real Madrid team or something? He's trying to reunite the 2014 Champions League winning team, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just trying to bring everyone to Everton and win the Champions League and a Premier League there.
So how long before Ramos is
next
linked?
Up at...
That's how long before Ramos gets linked?
I don't think he will do, because he is set to sign a new 2-year deal with Real Madrid, so despite the rumours earlier on in the week that PSG were interested in him.
I have to make doing Nacho Fernandez.
Next up on Sunday sees Sheffield United entertain West Ham at 2:00 on Sky Sports Premier League at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United have won all 3 of their home Premier League games against West Ham. their best such 100% record in the competition. In all competitions, West Ham are winless in their last 3 away games against Sheffield United, drawing 1, losing 2. Since a 2-1 win in the Championship in September of 2004, West Ham haven't won a top-flight match at Bramall Lane since April 1968. However, you got to say, West Ham are going to be favourites under David Moyes. I mean, they've had a decent season, up in 12th at the minute. They could move up to as high as 7th if other results go their way. And Sheffield United haven't looked the same in defence. I think it doesn't help that they lost Dean Henderson, who had been their number one for the last 2 seasons in goal after he went back to Manchester United. And you got to say, Ramsdale hasn't quite filled in his goalkeeper.
I guess not. If you look at the stats with Henderson last season, how crucial he ended up being for them in their run towards the European places. But the whole team with Sheffield United just hasn't been the same. You can't just put it down to the goalkeeper.
Oh no, I'm not just blaming it on him, but he's obviously like one of the standout, because obviously the goals that they've conceded 14 this season and only scored 4. But you got to say, Chris Wilder needs to get them firing up soon. He won't be under any pressure results-wise. I think Sheffield United are quite firm and keen on keeping Wilder there for the future, though they all want to start winning games soon. And I guess West Ham would be that perfect start to the season to start racking up some wins. Next up sees Leeds United take on Arsenal at 4:30 on Sky Sports Premier League at Ellen Road. Leeds are winless in their last 7 meetings with Arsenal in all competitions since a 3-2 win at Highbury in May 2003. Since a 1-0 loss in November 2000, Arsenal are unbeaten in their last 5 away games against Leeds in all competitions, winning their last 4 in a row by an aggregate score of 15-4. Arsenal will obviously want to be bounced back after their shock 3-0 defeat to Aston Villa just before the international break. I think looking into this game, anything can happen really.
I mean,
especially if Arsenal played the.
Because if Arsenal fans were shocked at last week and losing their minds, they will combust if they lose this one.
Definitely so. I mean, I remember seeing a video that someone did, like he called in on, I think, for 5 Live or 505 and saying that Mikel Arteta should be sacked after the 3-0 defeat. And I was like...
Was it Ty by any chance?
He said... if they end up finishing 4th and winning the FA Cup, he'll be called the Messiah again. And you're just like... They never seem to know what they're talking about.
I did think the response after the defeat also was quite strong.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, yes, they are having as bad of a season as Manchester United and Man City, but
did they play Man United before they?
Yeah,
the Man
beat Man United.
Yeah, where they were all claiming he was the Messiah. Like, oh my god, Arteta really is going to take us. And now it's funny now. Arteta very shite. Get him, yeah. Emery 2.0.
The next.
He was Pep's defensive coach. Get him.
Gone from Pep Guardiola's tactical genius to now Unai Emery Mark II. They'll be hoping for a much better performance, as we said. It's going to be an interesting watch, that. And then the final game on Sunday.
Just wait till what predictions
sees champions Liverpool welcome Brendan Rodgers' Leicester City to Anfield. Again, game on Sky Sports. However, there is the injury crisis going on at Liverpool with Henderson, Trent, Robertson, Fabinho. I want to say
get the scroll out.
Van Dijk. Apparently, Nico Williams got injured on under-21 international duty.
Nico Williams got injured and Reece Williams apparently.
And Reece Williams.
So it's the fourth choice centre back also getting injured as well as the other main choices. You can't make that type of cruelty.
I'm genuinely trying to think who's going to be playing. Like, it'll probably be that the Greek signing Kostas Simkas. He'll have to be in defence. Nathaniel Phillips, Seppi Vanderberg, and then play. I don't even know who the fourth choice defender would be.
Is this where we bring back out the "well done, he's 13" memes? Because the squad's going to be that young.
Do you reckon Jurgen Klopp now regrets selling Dejan Lovren?
Okay, I wouldn't. But then again, in this situation, yes, you probably would. If we're being serious, yes.
In this current climate, he must hate it. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot they can do.
Although knowing this settled, Lovren would have got injured anyway.
Yeah, he would also be injured. So a bit of match facts going into this game. Liverpool are unbeaten in their last 9 home games against Leicester, winning 7, drawing 2, having lost 3 in a row against them at Anfield between 1997 and 2000. Leicester have won just 2 of their last 16 Premier League meetings, with Liverpool drawing 3, losing 11, and are without a win in 6 against them since a 3-1 victory at the King Power Stadium in February 2017. Top of the table clash. Victors of this will go to the top of the table, unless Spurs also win at the weekend. That's for Liverpool. Going to be a very interesting watch, hopefully, though, knowing our luck with it being the big game, Sky are going to make it out to be the biggest game ever, and it will be a boring game. That is just our luck. Then on Monday, we see Burnley welcome Crystal Palace to Turf Moor at 5:30, again on Sky Sports. Burnley aren't having the best of seasons under Sean Dyche. Scored the least amount of goals in the league, only scoring 3 times in 7 games, conceding 12. Yet to pick up a win. Although I don't see him under any real pressure, you got to say the pressure is somewhat there if they don't pick up any points or something against Crystal Palace.
No. I don't see them even considering sacking him purely on the basis that I don't think they'd get a better option.
I mean, yeah, I don't think there's a better option there, but there is definitely the options. Obviously, you got Philip Cocu left Derby. There's Gary Monk just left Sheffield Wednesday. Eddie Howe still available.
So have you really just suggested Cocu and Gary Monk to replace Dyche at Burnley if they don't?
Well, not. I'm just saying, like, they're 2 available managers. Not saying they should go after both of them or either of them.
Your wording made that sound particularly.
No. I was just saying, like, they're just 3 available names. Should Sean Dyche get the sack soon?
I could have left you to drown. Just
no, I wasn't ever gonna suggest that. Facts into the game.
Just one last thing for the cultured lot. It's the tea time clash at the Happy Place.
Yes, if you've been watching I'm a Celebrity over here in the UK,
I've never known anyone call Turf Moor the Happy Place. It's just
no, it's just not. I'll be happy if they get relegated, so I don't have to see it next season. I just hate that as a ground. Bit of match facts going into it. Burnley have won their last Premier League meeting with Palace 1-0 in June, ending a run of 4 straight league defeats against the Eagles. Crystal Palace have won 3 and lost 2 of their 5 Premier League games away against Burnley, winning the last 2. Turf Moor is one of just 3 away grounds Crystal Palace have visited at least 5 times in the Premier League, where they've won more games than the last, with the others being the Bet365 Stadium, aka Stoke City's ground, and the Vitality Stadium, aka Bournemouth ground. Palace are having a really good season, up in 8th. I think they're definitely going to be the favourites heading into this. It's something you could see Arabice Eze have a really good game, and Wilfred Zaha as well. And then the final game of this week's Premier League fixtures on Monday night is at 8 o'clock, and that sees Wolverhampton Wanderers welcome Ralph Hasenhüttl's Southampton to the Molineux against Sky Sports. With the game, a bit of match facts coming into it. Wolves have lost just one of their last 8 league meetings with Southampton, winning 4, drawing 3, going down 3-1 at St Mary's in April 2019. Southampton haven't won any of their last 4 away league games against Wolves, drawing 2, losing 2, since a 6-0 win at Molineux in the Championship in March 2007. This has, on paper, the chance to be a really good game because both sides are playing well this season. Both managers set up their teams really well. And I think on a normal season, this wouldn't have such I think it would be such a mediocre game. You'd expect like a draw or something. But I think the way both teams are playing currently, it could be a really entertaining game.
Definitely has that chance to be quite open because of how both teams play. And those, yeah.
It's definitely going to be something to watch. Going on to predictions now for this weekend's fixtures. A reminder. Go on.
Well, it depends what were you about to remind us?
Of the scoring system.
Yes, go. Do try.
Right. So, if we get the correct score line, but for the wrong team, e.g., we say Chelsea to beat Newcastle 3-0, but Newcastle win 3-0, we get 1 point. If we go for the right team but the wrong score, so Chelsea 3-0 but they win 2-0, we get 2 points. If we get Chelsea win 3-0 and they do win 3-0, we get 3 points. A reminder from earlier on in the week, if you missed our show, Brad is currently on 0 points after our WSL predictions earlier on in the week, and I'm on 6 points. So we'll start off with the...
This is where I know what's coming with the rule, because predicting 10 games is a lot.
It is.
So I suggest 5 games.
Okay, do you want to do...
I have chosen these 5 games. I've chosen these 5 games.
Okay, so you want to do it a bit like how they do it on Super 6.
Yes,
but just 6
obviously
games.
It's not Super 6 because who would
It's
cover
our version.
Who would cover?
We don't have 250 grand to give away.
This is a BTEC version of that.
Okay.
So first game.
Mm-hmm.
I deal you Villa Brighton.
Villa versus Brighton. I'm just writing these down so I can remember as well. Aston. I'm going to go 3-0 to the Villa.
I wish I had that positivity. See, I've got 2-0 for the Villa.
Okay.
2-0 for the boys.
Right, what's the next game you've gone with?
It's Spurs Man City.
No surprise there, considering it's probably one of the biggest games of the weekend. Spurs
I've probably gone with the biggest 5 games that we today. Maybe in future weeks I will avoid doing that for both.
Okay. I'm going to go for a goal fest here and go for Man City to win 3-2.
I think you've made a mistake. It's the hype Sky game, you idiots. So wait. So who did you say it to again?
I went 3-2 Man City.
Jose's coming away with the win. It's 2-1 Tottenham.
2-1 to the Spurs. Okay.
It's at Spurs. That just makes you think.
Mm-hmm. Is game 3 Liverpool Leicester?
It isn't. It's Man U West Brom.
Man United West Brom. Okay. Man United though, it's all about which Man United turn up in this game, I think. An on-form Man United, like a well-connected, well-gelled Man United, could easily put 4 past West Brom. But if we see the mess of Man United, which we have done in the past, they could honestly lose this game. Like this could be the type of game West Brom would just like it'd be 1-1 for the majority of the game, and then someone like, I don't know, one of their defenders will score like a last-minute winner. But I want to go with 3-0 to Man United.
See, I think it will be one of those much closer games. It'll be the hit and miss Man U, and it will end 2-1 to United.
Okay, I was just making sure so I got it down correct. Game 4.
It's Leeds Arsenal.
Leeds Arsenal. Okay. Like I was just saying a little earlier on, it's going to be again dependent on which Arsenal turn up. I'm going to go with Desmond, aka 2-2.
I was very unsure on whether this would be a goal fest or not. You have Leeds who leak the goals, and Arsenal who can't score the goals.
Yes, Arsenal scoring 9 this season, but Leeds have let in 17.
But see, Arsenal fans, as I said, you were shocked last week. You're going to be pissed after this one. I think Leeds are winning 3-2.
3-2 to... I don't know what their nickname is, actually.
Pretty sure it's just the Whites.
Okay.
I don't... Cultural appropriation or what?
Yes.
But final one, Liverpool Leicester.
Yes. Injury FC versus Leicester, you mean?
It's your words as a bitter Man United fan against the champions, just say.
Have they not got a handful of injuries, though?
They have, but it was an
Then
unnecessary
can
dig.
be called
It was an unnecessary dig.
unnecessary or necessarily
Get
correct.
to the prediction. Get to the prediction.
Jamie Vardy has a party and Leicester win 2-1.
See, I don't doubt that Jamie Vardy will have his party, but in that party he will meet his best friend Desmond, and it will end 2-2.
Oh, Jamie and Desmond having a party. And that would be seeds to see. Definitely. Okay, so we've got our 5 games written down. So
I
we're going to have to
say,
wait until...
I was so tempted to go for Leicester to smash it before I saw it was at Anfield.
I mean, they still might do with the injuries that Liverpool have currently got.
We'll wait and see.
Yes. Now into the world of women's football. Last night saw the round 3 of some Continental Cup fixtures, or the League Cup for short. The Merseyside derby saw Everton play Liverpool, obviously, and it was the Toughies that won 1-0 thanks to Izzy Christensen of England. Arsenal and Spurs drew 2-2. However, because of the way the Conti Cup works, Arsenal won 5-4 on penalties, with USA striker Alex Morgan missing the decisive penalty.
You drink your tea to that one.
Yep, drink your tea and sip that one in. It was definitely
What does she
a great
think we
one to
find
see.
that offensive?
I don't know.
Or is it every
We'll get on-
American stereotypes? Oh, they'll drink tea and they'll drink it like Tories. But
It's America, they're stupid.
careful.
Elsewhere,
I don't want to alienate any American audience. Just
elsewhere, Brighton lost 2-0 to Reading. Charlton Athletic lost 4-0 to West Ham United, and Bristol City beat Lewes 3-1. Okay, if I told you that we said the Arsenal game was 2-2, who do you think scored for Arsenal, one of the goals?
would it be your best friend?
Yeah, Viviana Miedema scored yet again. Elsewhere in that game, Arsenal handed a debut to goalkeeper Lydia Williams for the first time, making after she missed quite a bit of action through injury and Manu Zinsberg being involved for the majority of it. Swiss international Leah Volti brought up her 50th game for the Gunners, and centre-back Leah Williamson brought up 150th appearance at just 23 years old, which is an incredible feat already, and she's well on her way to become a Arsenal legend. Elsewhere in the world of women's football, West Ham confirmed that the head coach Matt Beard has left the club by mutual consent, and this one does seem to be actual mutual consent rather than them just saying that as another word for sacking. And this time, Tottenham, they've also got rid of their 2 head coaches, Karen Hills and Juan Amoros, who this time do actually seem to have been sacked rather than just left the club by mutual consent after their disappointing start to the season. Phil Neville announced the Lionesses squad earlier on in the week for their in-house friendlies, and I've got to say, he's finally listening to what I've been saying about making some changes and bringing youth into the squad. So goalkeepers are Hannah Hampton, Sandy McGeever, Ellie Roebuck, Carly Telford. Defence of Lucy Bronze, Grace Fisk, Alex Greenwood, Steph Wharton, Esme Morgan, Demi Stokes, Millie Turner and Lottie Wobben-Moy. Midfield of Laura Coombs, Neve Charles, Jordan Nobbs, Jill Scott, Georgia Stanway, Lucy Staniforth, Ella Toon, Kira Walsh, Leah Williamson, and forwards of Rinsola Babajide, Rachel Daly, Beth England, a first call up for Lauren James, Chloe Kelly, Beth Mead, Nikita Paris, and Ellen White.
Question. Well, not a question,
Fire
more a
away.
statement. Well, not a question, but more of a statement. Wouldn't be the first time that England have listened to unqualified people in terms of coaching.
Why?
I'm just saying.
I thought he was going to say someone this, who the first uncultured person was.
Just saying. You could claim copyright infringement with them, but no.
I wish I could, but there's still, for me, too many. I don't know why Ellen White and Jill Scott are still getting selected. I mean, they're not really playing. I mean, Ellen White's played a handful of games, but Jill Scott has barely played this season for Man City. So yeah, there's still too many older players in the squad for what I would like. It is now international break for the women's football, so they'll be back the first week of December. And we will cover them games a lot in the future, obviously. I've just got a bit of breaking news. Well, not breaking
cover
news,
the breaking
but
news before we go into this new segment.
Yes. So David Ornstein of The Athletic has revealed that tension boiled over in Arsenal training today. He says Friday, but okay, whatever. Today, as David Luiz hit Danny Ceballos on the nose with scratch drawing blood when the squad returned. Oh, sorry.
Does it repeat the whole story?
Yeah, because this has got confusing. So it says tensions boiled over in Arsenal training Friday as David Luiz hit Danny Ceballos on the nose with the scratch drawing blood. When the squad returned Tuesday, both apologised, plus group have continued as normal. So obviously, I don't think either of them went
so
to...
there was fisticuffs last Friday, and yeah, everything's fine.
It ended with Danny Ceballos having a bloodied nose.
Solskjaer Bob trying to strike there.
Right, what is you going to lead us into now?
Well, with this week's little segment, it's been a weird week, shall we say, for the stories involved. So this is this week's weird and wonderful stories. We have 3 of them. We'll start with the obvious. Bloody Wrexham have got their new owners in.
Yes, Deadpool actor Ryan Reynolds and I forgot his partner.
First name Rob, can never say surname.
Rob McElhenney
Okay.
Are the new joint owners. I remember the story coming back.
I never had that on the 2020 bingo.
I remember hearing the story and I was like, there can't be any truth in that, but obviously they have now both taken over or have there's a deal in principle. I think there's still some bits left to sort out of the deal, but it's good to see little Welsh side Wrexham getting some exposure into the world's media now.
It sounds for Deadpool in the chairman's office, and then you got the Rex of the X-Men being signed in January.
Definitely going to be interesting to see how their tenure goes. What was your next little weird and wonderful event of the week?
It was a fantastic transfer story to do with Barnsley. Which striker are they getting linked with? Who have they inquired about just randomly out of nowhere?
Free agent and troublemaker himself, Mario Balotelli.
I love it.
I mean, I remember seeing that story earlier on in the week and I was like, it makes no sense. I don't think they could afford him. Plus, the reason he was let go of his former club, Brescia, is due to his lateness in turning up to trainings, and I think a lot of arguments with the managerial staff and everything. So I think for me, it'd be a silly move to do it, but if it gives them the exposure they want, then so be it.
I say do it just for the laughs. But on to our third story, one that I know for a fact you haven't heard of, because as you were saying beforehand, it concerns the German international, and man, we believed retired, but actually he's nesting in Turkey. That's Lucas Podolski.
Go on, what's Podolski done this time?
So Lucas Podolski has signed for his local club.
Okay, nothing weird about that.
Nothing weird yet, but it's in a completely different sport.
Right?
And granted, in reading the story, it is for a good reason. So you can't.
Okay.
Say, I'm going to give you 3 sports. Guess which one you think it is he has now joined.
Okay.
Is he joining a basketball team?
Basketball in Germany, I don't. Not as big as I would expect. So, meh.
Is he
I
joining?
don't think so.
Is he joining a softball team?
Now that is one I could see happening, because I think softball and handball are really popular in Germany. So, yeah.
Or is he joining? I was going to get to it. Is he joining an ice hockey team?
Ice hockey? Is that even a Germany? Does Germany have an ice? Does that have an ice? I don't know.
It's your call.
I'm just thinking of.
I've given you 3 sports if you want.
See, when you say ice hockey, I just think of. I know Man United defender Victor Lindelof. He likes it.
There's nothing wrong with ice hockey. I think it's a good sport.
I think
All there for the fights.
Peter Cech, I think he's a fan of ice hockey as well. Or am I thinking of Thomas Rosicky?
Let's say that Peter Cech became a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That's my point of view. With his head injuries, that's such shocking.
Now I'm going to go with softball. It has to be softball.
You're going softball?
Yeah, that has to be the right one, surely.
Interesting. Well, if I say the team that he has joined are known as Colonel High, roughly translated as the Cologne Sharks.
Okay, so that's definitely ice hockey then.
Lucas Podolski has signed for his local ice hockey club.
But what? But he's still playing football in Turkey, right? He did say he's at Antalyaspor in Turkey.
He's currently still on the books at that Turkey club, but he's trading in his boots for the Scouts as he's following. It's a successful campaign to help his local ice hockey club during the pandemic.
Right.
So it's for the good reasons.
Okay, so he's joined them to bring as much attention as possible during this pandemic, so they can have money to survive. But is he actually going to play for them in a professional German league ice hockey game, if the Germans even have a professional ice hockey league?
Well, in reading the story here, it says Podolski has promised fans of Colonel High who are in financial straits due to the pandemic that if they purchase 100,000 virtual tickets, he would be unveiled as their latest signing.
100,000 tickets? How many people does Cologne have?
I mean, isn't the stadium 80,000?
Yeah, but how many people?
It's like one of the biggest stadiums. It's a big city, Cologne.
Yeah, I know it's like one of the big cities, but I mean in terms of ice hockey, I don't think ice hockey stadiums have that big of a stadium, did they?
Well, the ice hockey one is about 80,000 from what I've seen, but it's obviously over the season just to keep them their revenue good. But basically, the revenue from those sales is helping the club actually enter the season.
Ah, that's a very good cause.
Well, there hasn't actually been an explanation how he's going to juggle both duties. So, but yeah, it's a lovely story. We know Lucas Podolski's a lovely bloke.
Yes, always been one of the
the nice guys of sport.
nice blokes of football.
Actually,
I do believe that
I want Balotelli in ice hockey. Just him for the fights. Brilliant.
He'd bring the fireworks though, like actual fireworks, and I don't think that's quite allowed in ice hockey, although they do some crazy stuff. I do believe though that is all we have in terms of news around the world of football, both men and women's. If there's anything else we've missed or happens between now and day of recording, aka Thursday afternoon, and our review show, we'll obviously review it then. Until then, on Monday, we will be back where we obviously have a look back at this week's league fixture, see how many points Brad does get, if he gets any, in the predictions league, or will I extend my lead even more?
Do you have to rub it in like the shit house that you are?
Yes, and I'm going to keep rubbing it in whilst the lead lasts. Until then, we will see you soon.